Have you ever wondered why corporations react differently to various global conflicts? This question might have crossed your mind, especially when observing recent events such as the Ukraine war and the Israel-Hamas conflict. The corporate world's responses to these situations have been distinctly varied, sparking intrigue and raising many questions. What drives these differences? What are the implications? Why the silence in some cases and outspoken support in others? Stay with us as we delve into this intriguing topic. When war erupted in Ukraine, the corporate world was quick to respond. The international business community, in an unprecedented show of solidarity, voiced their opposition to the aggression. Major brands that are household names, often cautious about stepping into political arenas, broke their silence. They condemned Russia's invasion, publicly aligning themselves with Ukraine as a symbol of support. This corporate outcry wasn't merely symbolic. More than 1,000 companies took tangible action, scaling back their operations in Russia. From tech behemoths like Microsoft and Google to other industry giants, there was a collective shift. They chose to place principles over profit, indicating a new era of corporate social responsibility. Yet it's worth noting that this wasn't a simplistic narrative of good versus evil. These corporations were also responding to their consumers. In an age where social and political views can heavily influence consumer behavior, brands were acutely aware of the need to align with their customers' values. This corporate activism, however, was not without its complexities. While it was clear-cut for some, others grappled with the challenge of navigating the geopolitical landscape. Striking a balance between business interests and ethical obligations proved to be a daunting task. The corporate response to the Ukraine war was swift and decisive, but would this be the case for another conflict? As we turn our attention to the Israel-Hamas conflict, the corporate reaction paints a starkly different picture, but that's a story for the next scene. In contrast to the Ukraine war, the response from the corporate world to the Israel-Hamas conflict has been notably muted. A stark difference in the stance of corporate giants compared to their vocal opposition to the Russian aggression in Ukraine is quite evident. Some companies have shown their hand, with tech titans like Microsoft and Google expressing their support for Israel and condemning Hamas. However, a substantial number of major corporations have chosen to stay silent on the issue. This silence is deafening, especially considering the vocal nature of corporate responses to other global events. The reasons behind this are complex and multifaceted. The Israel-Palestine conflict is a delicate, controversial topic, fraught with historical, religious, and political sensitivities. For a corporate entity to weigh in on this issue is to walk a tightrope, balancing the risk of backlash from various factions against the potential benefits of taking a stance. Supporting Palestine, for instance, presents a particular challenge for companies, especially those based in Western nations. In these countries, Hamas is often labeled as a terrorist organization, making any show of support for Palestine a potential PR disaster. Moreover, the widespread protests in support of Palestine have faced significant blowback in countries like the United States and France. In France, pro-Palestinian rallies have been outright banned, making it clear that any corporate support for Palestine could lead to severe consequences. In the face of these complexities, many corporations have opted for a safer approach. They either make broad statements condemning violence in general or choose to say nothing at all. This strategy is designed to avoid alienating any section of their customer base, but it also draws criticism from those who believe businesses should take a stand on social and political issues. It's clear that the corporate response to the Israel-Hamas conflict has been far less vocal than that of the Ukraine war. Why is there such a disparity in corporate responses between these two conflicts? This question is one that intrigues many. The answer lies within a complex web of factors. At the heart of this disparity lies the sensitivity and complexity of the Israel-Palestine conflict. Unlike the Ukraine war, where the corporate world had a more or less unanimous stand, the Israel-Hamas conflict is a different ballgame altogether. This conflict is steeped in deep-rooted historical, religious, and socio-political nuances that make it a minefield for corporations to navigate. The potential backlash that companies face when expressing support for Palestine is a significant deterrent, especially in Western countries, where Hamas is often labeled as a terrorist group. Standing with Palestine can be a risky move. It's a tightrope walk between expressing solidarity and facing potential criticism, or even boycotts, for being perceived as supporting terrorism. Consumer opinions on brands taking a stance on social and political issues are a mixed bag. On one hand, there are those who appreciate a brand's courage to voice its stand. They view it as a testament to the brand's values and integrity. On the other hand, there are consumers who prefer their brands to stick to their core business and stay clear of political or social issues. These consumers may boycott or reduce spending on brands that don't align with their views. So what does this mean for corporations? Well, it boils down to a choice between two less than ideal options. The fear of alienating customers often leads brands to either make general comments against violence or say nothing at all during times of conflict. The corporate world's response to global conflicts is a complex issue. As we've seen, the reactions to the Ukraine war and the Israel-Hamas conflict varied significantly. The reasons for this disparity are multifaceted, ranging from the complexities and sensitivities of the conflicts to the potential backlash from different factions. The implications of these responses are far-reaching and can significantly impact a company's reputation and customer relationship. In a world where every word matters, corporations must tread carefully in their responses to conflicts, lest they risk alienating their customer base.